Come, hear the tale of our ragtag crew, brought together upon a mysterious island by fate. They have lost, they have won, and now, alongside a rebel faction, the truth on the wind, they fight against the evil Eterines. Behind it all, an alien being of immeasurable power begins to rise once again. As the land grows cold, our party stands as a light in the darkness. Now, welcome to the Swordcast Adventures.
Previously on the Swordcast Adventures, we found ourselves making a quick stop in a small resting area with pillows and a fresh fire, which was definitely odd for this place. After rummaging through some items, we move on to find a corridor with a few closed doors before making our way into the center of the building. As we looked around, we were surrounded by a thick fog as multi-headed beasts launched an attack upon us. Shortly after, the beasts are joined by a group of snakehead women calling each other sisters. There was some death, but Rain managed to capture one of the women and got the rest of them to surrender. After they flee, we continue our inspection of the area to find a door with a figure carved into it, reaching out their hands as if something should be held by them. What lies behind all these locked doors?
You all stand at the entrance where you had made it in past the double doors at the end of the hall where you had figured the riddle out. To your west is a hallway that you had not traveled down before. It is dark. And even any light or your dark vision shines around, you notice that ahead of you, the hallway breaks north to a smaller hallway, seemingly right about 30 feet away from where Grimtuck stands right now. And about 40 feet down, maybe 45, it breaks south. That's all you see down this hallway. The light dusting of sand is an odd change of pace, as this has been not exactly a cold and dank area, but it's certainly, it's stone deep underneath, like mountainous area. So it doesn't hold as much heat as outside does. So it's a nice almost a change of pace to feel the winds from the desert coming through. What do you do?
Move down the
Continue
hallway.
to make our way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Grimtuck, you notice as Amelia walks behind you, the light from her staff as well as your dark vision shows that there is a set of stairs to the north that lead to a set of doors. A short flight, about 10 feet, leading to a platform, so slight rise, and a platform capped off by doors.
What do you think that, I bet you there's going to be another hey, come in these doors and we're going to fuck you up situation up there. Let's check that out after this hallway.
Okay. What do the doors look like?
The doors, it has a singular image carved into it that seemingly is cut down the middle by the split of the doors. It is this. For all of our listeners at home, it seems to be like a jar with the head of what looks to be a jackal or some kind of dog creature. A few runes sit on the front of it, but it does seem to be almost a cylinder with a cap. It's hard to exactly tell what it is. Anyone who wants to, who is proficient in it, can roll a history check.
I am not proficient in that.
Me either.
I am not either.
Is Grimtuck? I don't think so.
Oh, hell no.
Grimtuck the historian.
Apparently,
Yep,
none of
accurate.
us study history.
I'm going to need my monocle.
This opens the hole. Gets monocle.
Yeah.
This picture doesn't really tick any boxes, and nothing comes to mind when you see it.
Is it raised or is it flat against the door?
Carved in.
Carved in. Okay.
So it's a depression.
Okay. And what's around the corner down the hallway? Not by the door, but around the corner.
A long hallway that splits off into 3 offshoots, one on the east, 2 on the west, and then seemingly, as far as your elf eyes can see, which I believe, just matches. At the very end, it's hazy because it's a little far away from you, but you swear there seems to be a wall or maybe even another set of doors at the very southern point of this hallway that you looked out.
Okay. I'm just gonna ready my bow, get down on a knee and say, I've got the hallway covered. Go check the door.
All right.
If anything surprises or shows up, I would like to attack it.
Absolutely.
You want me to go check the door?
I mean, I can too.
Yeah,
I was
go
going
for
to say,
it.
Rain, you should maybe
Yeah.
take a look at it.
All right, I will quietly approach. Wait, it's up this way, right? To the north?
Yep.
Okay.
There's a set of doors to the north with that carved symbol or carved image into it. It's pretty large too. I'd say the image itself is probably maybe about 2 feet on the door.
I mean, can I just investigate the doorway for traps, I suppose? Do like any pieces of this picture look like they could be like pressed in or anything?
Instead of investigation, let's roll perception.
Okay.
As you kind of lean down,
8.
you see Rain kind of lean down and look at all of the cracks and edges to see if there's anything raised or out of place. You don't find anything that kind of rings out that would be trapped, that you can see at least.
And how does it look like it opens? Did you mention that? Is there like a handle, or does it look like you push it, or
No
is
handle,
it just a
but
slab?
It seemingly are 2 slabs, though you would notice that at the very base, the scratches are very minute and go kind of towards the door, like inwardly. They seem to open, but you don't exactly know how from where it is. There's a slight bit of like disturbance at the very base of the door, but it's not enough to really gather in full, I don't think.
I mean, I guess I would just try pushing it at first.
Sure. I will say they look similar to the other doors that have been openable in this place.
Okay.
So any of the other doors kind of swung upon on like a hinge.
Okay, yeah, so I'll try pushing them.
Sure. You push. You can roll a strength check if you wish.
Just straight strength.
Let's do athletics. Let's give the whole shebang.
15.
Rain braces up against the door, but as you push, the door doesn't budge, even to the point of releasing any form of dust from the ceiling.
Okay.
It seems suspiciously solid.
Interesting. And you said it's like 2 slabs? Is there any...
Similar to the front doors that you saw before.
Does it seem like I can get anything through the crack? Like
You
maybe
can't
a
really
dagger?
see into it. You can try. You can always try.
I guess essentially I'm trying to see if there's like a bar up or anything like
Sure,
against the door
absolutely.
blocking it. Yeah, I'll try my dagger.
Okay. This one I'm not going to make you roll. You kind of try to slide it in, but at a certain point, probably about maybe 3 inches into this space between, you seem to hit something. And then you kind of try like a little higher. Maybe you hit the bar. You try a little higher. Hit something again. A few other tries, and you notice that there seems to be something almost barring your way past that point.
Okay. All right, I'll go back.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like there's something in the way on the other side.
I mean, you want me to give it a shot?
I don't see why not. Maybe you can get out. Maybe you can push it from this side, but I can get it.
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I mean, good effort though. I mean, your stance was good. Like that wasn't a bad effort. You know, you had like your feet were good distance apart. But anyways,
Amelia would pat Grimtuck on the back and cast guidance as he walks by her.
Excellent.
sweet. I get to do the pushing and pulling things that I have advantage for. And hold on, get my D4. How does a 32?
I mean, that is a really good roll, and the doors don't move like a single centimeter. Not even a speck of dust comes down from the ceiling, just the same.
Oh, well, it's impossible. The door's never going to open.
Good stance, though.
That's it.
Like spread apart.
Might as well just move along.
As this is going on, Metolius will reach out with his divine sense and attempt to detect any fiends, undead, or celestials within 60 feet that are not behind total cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I will knock on the door.
A loud, resounding, like an echoing knock can be heard from behind it.
Wait, something knocked back?
No, you knocking on the door.
Oh. Alright. I just figured it'd be worth a shot.
If we don't find ourselves on the other side of that at some point, I could take a look through it.
Let's go see what's down this other hall first. We'll come back to it. We got other exploring.
That's what I said. If we don't find our way there easily.
Okay. Amelia's light curls around the corner as it does. Eldon, you see a little bit more now. The hallway just to the west is about 5 feet wide. The hallway to the east, on the other hand, is more like 10. Both hallways to the west now, as all three of you kind of round this corner, are that same smaller sized alcoves in between, but not filled with anything like you've seen before.
Start making my way down the hallway with Metolius and Amelia.
Sure. Metolius, you kind of notice that this room to the east opens up a bit. It's hard to see right at that corner, but you kind of get the notion that it does. Elduin, similarly, to the west, you notice that down this small hallway, the room opens up and there are 2 pillars that you can see from where you stand. Though possibly with the dynamic lighting, you can only see one. It's here.
Yeah, I can only see one, but anything on the floor, anything interesting?
Slate stones, bit of rubble, not much though, and not as though like you'd seen before where the stone bodies of things have been crushed. This is more just like over time it has kind of fallen into disrepair.
Got it. I'll keep my eye down the hallway while people are exploring other things.
Sure. Metolius, are you doing anything? You stand here and you see a room wider, about 20 feet by give or take 15, depending on where you look for it. A few alcoves on all sides of this room to the east.
If I look to the south, what do I see on the southernmost part of this passageway? I just want to take a look before I turn and just see what's at the end.
Oh, a set of doors. Something seems to be carved on it, but I think from this point and with just dark vision, as Amelia is walking down, it's a little hard to see. There does seem something carved there, though. And another set of double doors.
Metolius would peel off and wander 25 feet down the hallway to this small room.
Okay. So there's 3 walls you can see, like 3 alcoves in this room that opens up. You notice that there are some words, and they seem to be written in common, as far as you can tell, maybe a slightly older version of it, but common all the same. And the words in front of you, this is to the far east wall in this small alcove, says, "As the beasts look upon me, the way shall be open to all." This is compounded with carvings on both the north and the south walls of this eastern room.
Okay. What kind of carvings do I see?
So to the south, you see 2 figures standing, grasping staves or rods with 4 animals upon it. A scorpion, what looks to be a hyena, vulture, and a snake or a viper. And then to the north, you notice a symbol similar to what you saw on the door to the north, seemingly like a jar with somewhat of a canine-like head on the top, with 4 other animals, a cat, a mule, a lizard, and a spider.
I will read the inscription aloud and see if anyone notices.
Would any of us notice?
I don't know. Y'all are standing around. He's saying it out loud.
I mean, Amelia's not that far away from you. She would probably hear it.
I think Grimtug, Elduin. I mean, I think everyone would hear it because it's very quiet in here, and the walls are stone, meaning your voice bounces.
I found something in here, some kind of code or symbology. I'm not sure.
I will head into the room and take a look around.
Okay. You see all the same things, exactly as Metolius had explained it. The words upon the wall, "As the beasts look upon me, the way shall be open to all. And then the two other walls, north and south, being depicting these 4 animals and kind of 2 symbols.
Okay, so we need the beasts to look at me. I don't know what me is. Is that maybe the door that we can't open, or is that... Is there
Me
any
is
sort of...
you. You're me. Not me.
I think it's not directly referring to the speaker. I think it is probably
Who's the speaker?
referring to the door, or perhaps it's unclear. We don't know exactly who or what the speaker is intended to be. Could be a door, could be something else, but we're trying to figure that out.
This carving has a symbol of a jar, like the door to the north, so perhaps this is how you open it.
Should we need to expose a spider, a lizard, a donkey, and a cat to the door?
Yes, ritually sacrifice each one of them.
I mean,
Well,
Now
I
listen,
wonder
Tony.
if... Is there some object in here that we have run across that could be a metaphor for each of these? Or some analog?
let's go look around. Who knows? I don't know.
Not to interrupt, but I would also say where Amelia is. Amelia, if you're looking around, you would also
yeah,
see...
she'd be looking at this wall here.
So that wall is a door. It's a
Okay.
set of 2 doors. You see, like the image on the wall that is to the south in that room, you see, for my players, this is as best I could find, and I apologize for using this, but it works. 2 figures standing with staves carved into the relief, almost as though one slightly more regal or adorned with more finery than the other, which seems to be more similarly dressed but not as fine. Almost like a ruler or like a master to like some form of follower.
I got you.
And that, like the jar to the north, is carved into the double doors, 1 figure on each side.
Seeing that and hearing their conversation, Amelia would come into the room
Okay.
and take a look. And seeing the 2 symbols on the walls here, she would point at the southern wall and say, just like the door we just passed, the door down at the end of that hallway has this symbol on it. She points up to the 2 people.
There we go. Perhaps these symbols open the doors.
Is there anything in this alcove to the west?
In the alcoves, no, but the hallway leads down to a much more open room with a column. And Amelia, as your light shines in here, this room opens much wider to the west, and there are 4 columns in this room. And actually, to the column you stand in front of, Amelia, in this room, there are 4 columns. Each column is a set of 2, basically a set of multiple creatures. They seem to be a few different ones, including, on this one specifically, what looks to be a fish. On the top one, a fish, some form of like lion, and then a spider. And on the bottom section, as in 2 cylinders, on the bottom cylinder, there seems to be like a whale, a unicorn, and a viper.
Seeing creatures on these pillars, she would step in and take a look at the other ones.
Mm-hmm. The ones northeast are some form of large bird, maybe like an emu, seemingly long legs, spindly neck. Looks to be something like possibly a grell, little tentacly, little beaky, and then a lizard for the upper column. The lower column looks to be an octopus, maybe a gorilla or some form of ape, and then a hyena.
Okay.
And then the column to the northwest, which is the top left corner, has like a wolf, a moose, and a cat. The lower part has a what looks to be a worm, basically like an earthworm style worm. What looks to be a pterosaur or some kind of large reptilian, and then a scorpion for the bottom half. And then finally, we have the northwest. The top half is what seems to be a hedgehog, a canary, and a lizard. And the bottom half seems to be a griffin, a dragon, and a vulture.
Looking at the walls, does Amelia see anything on the walls?
They do not. The walls are pretty bare in this. The carvings are decently intricate, but the walls themselves are bare, surprisingly so.
Seeing that Metolius has joined her in this room, she would point out to the cylinders and she would say, each one of these cylinders, the bottom creature on them is one of the creatures on the wall in there.
More than just the bottom. There's one each on the top, too.
Yes, but it's the bottom creature on that one as well.
Oh, I see. Yes. So... And then I will reach up and sort of, I don't know, investigate the pillar to see if we're able to interact with it.
Roll an investigation check.
Dirty 20.
So you look around, you take a second, you notice there is a slight separation between the two pillars, like a thin disc of stone, which then in turn you take a moment and you kind of put your hands upon it, and you notice that the pillars spin. It's a little bit grindy, but it's still pretty fluid once you get them moving, as though they can turn.
Are the carvings only on like one side of the pillar?
No, it seems to be 3 carvings on each, like basically like a triangle pattern of carvings on each of these. So like the top pillar has 3, or the top pillar of each has 3 carvings, the bottom pillar has 3 carvings. Around the entirety of it.
Oh, I see. So it's like one carving on each side that is a different animal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I was misunderstanding. I thought they were stacked on top of each other.
No, sorry. It's 3 carvings to each cylinder.
Gotcha. Now realizing this, Amelia would say, do we spin them to where they're on the side the door is on?
I think so.
Seems logical to me.
Yeah, Metolius would spin.
Is there a focal point in the room? Like, is there some sort of idol or something that it all seems like they would want to be pointed at?
That's why Amelia checked the walls.
There is
trying
not.
to see if there's anything like that.
Got it. Okay. Well then, yes,
so
I think...
Amelia would step over to the pillar that is in the northwest corner of the room, and she would spin to where the creatures that we recognize from the wall in there are facing to the east.
To the east?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So both creatures.
Yes.
Okay. So then on that pillar, first, both the cat and the scorpion are facing east now. The cat is up top, the scorpion is down below.
Metolius would do the same. So that was a vulture on top and a vulture on bottom and a lizard on top.
That actually, nope. The one you're in front of, Metolius, has the lizard, vulture and lizard in front of you, yes.
Okay. I turn them facing eastward.
Okay. There is now a cat and a scorpion and a vulture and a lizard facing eastward.
Amelia has an oh shit moment. You see like a light bulb go off as she turns to you, Metolius, and she says, wait a second. The different creatures were on the different sides of the rooms that the other doors were on. We need to make sure that the animals from the door with the jaw are pointing to the north.
Ah, okay.
The animals with the figures need to point to the south.
All right. Metolius will reorient the northeast one so that the vulture faces south and the lizard faces north.
And Amelia would spin the column that she's at to match. I don't, like I said, I didn't write down the creatures, but
So if you're going by the carvings you had seen, the cat would face north and the scorpion would face south.
perfect. She would then move to the southwest corner and do the same thing.
Rain, Eldwin, we need a snake facing south and a spider facing north.
Okay.
And then Amelia turns hers to the donkey to the north and the hyena to the south.
A donkey to the north.
Okay. You all finish that up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving it all. So now separated, each of the 4 symbols on both the north and the upper and lower pillars are faced corresponding to the carvings you had seen. Grimtuck hears this best being out in the hallway, if he is. You hear what seems to be a loud kind of rumble and then a click.
I was just kind of moving towards where the sound was coming from.
The sound is coming from both north and west of you, or north and south of you. And if you're looking down the hallway, you notice a very small bit of dust fall between the 2 doors to the south.
I'm going to go check that out and see if I can just give it a slight little pusharoo.
Okay. You all hear the sound too, but you're still in the room, so.
Hearing it, yeah, Amelia would definitely begin to move out.
Okay. Grimtuck, you push, right?
Mm-hmm.
The door, with a bit of, again, similarly grinding, gives a bit of resistance, but does slide inward to a vast, dark room.
Yeah, and Amelia would come out of the hallway just in time to see Grimtuck pushing this open.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look at that.
It worked.
Hey, what's behind the door?
I will take a step inside and look around.
Okay. Inside, a wide open room that branches off to the both east and west, but around you are intricately carved sarcophagi, both in the alcoves here, to the north on both the east and the west, and the south, east, and west, as well as one in a small alcove to the far west.
Oh shit, we got coffins. Hey everybody, we got coffins.
I know a sarcophagi or two.
No sarcophagi.
Okay. Amelia, as you walk in and your light kind of flows down the hall, you notice that something catches the light off in the very far western corner of these halls down here.
Amelia would kind of stop then. She would say, what was that?
As you keep going down, you notice to the north and the south that in these alcoves, very close to where you are, 2 more sarcophagi. At the far end of this, as your light kind of now fills the space, you notice a mummified body standing in what looked to be somewhat similar attire to the slightly lower rung person you saw upon the door. The same kind of fittings, colors that drape over their chest, a headpiece, as well as a scepter across their chest in their hands as they are placed up against the wall.
Amelia kind of takes a step back in the room and she points down the hallway and she says, I think that's one of the figures from the door. And it's holding something.
What is it holding?
It looks to be a scepter, something similar to its depiction.
Wait, wasn't there a door back that needed a scepter to open?
Exactly. And Amelia begins to step forward.
Yeah, steal that shit.
Does Amelia see anything else as she steps into this?
You see 2 other sarcophagi up to the north and the south of this room in the alcoves. Also, I would say, Grimtuck, with your dark vision, and as Amelia leaves the general space, you notice this room is kind of filled with carvings as well, though it's kind of hard to make out with just in dark vision.
We got some carvings over here, but kind of tough to see them. kind of got to squint a little. Can I squint a little and make them out at all? I don't know. I'm overconfident.
No worries.
As usual.
As you walk forward, Amelia, as you take that first step within 5 feet of this creature, you see movement in front of you.
She would jump back.
Okay. You see this being resting up against the stone, like clack, crack, and move. As it does, dust falls from every opening within the wrappings around its body.
Amelia pulls out her Rod of the Pact Keeper. She just holds it. She doesn't do anything with it.
You see its jaw falls slack and just more sand and dust pours forth from the orifice now open. No eyes rest within the sockets as they have long since wasted away. This creature then kind of slumps slightly forward, catching itself on its feet, scepter in hand. And as it seemingly begins to move forward, it falls on one knee in front of you, Amelia. Its head lowered, as though in reverence.
Looks around confused.
Its hands clasped around the scepter now turn over and as though to present this scepter to you. Then all around you, from all corners of this room, as though in unison, muffled as they come from behind the covers of the sarcophagi, you hear several voices say together, "Blessed champions, take this scepter to the high priest's chamber, and the way to the eye shall be open to you."
Amelia just kind of looks back at Rain. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
She looks back, kind of still confused, but she reaches out to take it.
The kneeling creature stands perfectly still as though now a statue, presenting this scepter to you.
Amelia puts her Rod of the Pact Keeper back and just kind of picks up the scepter and, still kind of confused, takes a final last look around the room before turning around and starting back towards Rain.
Okay, you all would have heard this cacophonous echoing words from these creatures around.
That's weird as shit.
Yeah, she steps up to Rain and she says, "That was odd."
Yeah, people don't usually just hand us stuff like that.
No,
Oh, are you like a queen now?
The creature, you
so.
hear the cracking of bone as the creature rises once more and returns to its place amongst the alcove where it had rested.
Amelia would kind of just watch it, not knowing what it's going to be doing, but yeah, and she would just kind of turn back around and shake her head and say, "This place is strange."
Huh. You guys should come over here. That was weird as fuck, by the way. Come over here and bring some light. There's some stuff on the walls.
Amelia would start to head back that direction.
They said champions. Maybe we are all royalty.
Cool. I mean, I'm already kind of royalty, sort of. Not really, I guess.
As you walk in and Amelia's light shines around, the walls are covered in a bas-relief stating stories from the north all the way to the south. You see this kind of, it's not a tapestry because it's not one, but this story of the rise of Limerick and evil descending upon the native people that once lived here or reside here. You then see in the center, right in front of you, Amelia, straight to the east, a creature, large and imposing, but almost turtle-like, rise from the sands itself with a very similar looking mountain as the one that this temple is carved into, fighting with the people against these hordes. And then you see another image of that almost leader figure standing in front of this large turtle creature, presenting accolades and awards to these priests, similar to the way the one that was dressed along the wall that had handed you the scepter. As though a story of the people who fought Limik at one time and now rest here as at peace as their prize.
Amelia would take this all in for a moment, and then she would step forward to the wall as she points at the large turtle creature, and she turns to Grimtuck and says, "What is this?"
I don't know, but Grandfather Shaman would be fucking harder than a diamond in an ice storm just seeing all this history bullshit. That he'd be like, oh, is it talking about like fucking millennium of like, I don't know, like culture and like, oh, jeez, it would be a lot. But I think that turtle looks pretty badass.
She kind of calls back out into the hall. Has anyone else seen anything like this?
A giant fucking, well, I mean, we had turtle helping us, like giant turtle things.
Tullius will enter and take a look. He is proficient in nature.
Yeah, so's Grimtuck.
But he doesn't have much other skills to lend to this.
Okay, feel free to roll a nature check, both of you.
That's a 10.
Oh shit, I got a 20. I'm rolling to GM for some reason.
I would say both of you can tell. First of all, Limik is very obviously something abhorrent. You know what this thing is. The turtle, though looking like a turtle by all rights, quadruped, large, flat head, shell of some kind, the size is like nothing you've ever seen, even compared to the dragon turtles you've seen. This creature, whatever this is nothing you know of.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, me either, man. This thing seems pretty badass. You guys think we're on a giant turtle right now?
I mean, that's what the carving would have you believe, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's wake up this fucking turtle.
Let's wake up this turtle, bro.
Let's do it.
What did they say? To the chamber, the high priest chamber? Maybe that was the door that we couldn't enter.
Let's go check it out. It's turtle waking time.
I'm guessing you're running back to that door?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
You stand at the door you had been at before. A single carving in the very center of this door, now holding a scepter in hand, looks very, very familiar.
All right, Amelia. You got that scepter.
Amelia walks up to the door and sets it in their hands.
This one is just a scepter in the very center of the door. The hands one was the one you saw after fighting the Cerberus.
Gotcha.
You slide it in between like a key going into a lock, and as it does, another similar loud echoing click. A bit of sand falls from the ceiling between the two stones. And the scepter falls back into your hands, Amelia.
And then what?
I don't know. What do you do?
That's it? She kind of like holds it and she looks back and she says, did that do it?
I don't know. Let's give it a shot. And I'll push on that fucking door.
Okay. You push on the door. The door, like before, takes a moment but picks up speed and opens, sliding inwards, exposing a room beyond. And then exposing a room beyond as I take away the dynamic lighting. Boom.
All right.
In this room, there are 3 pillars and one that seemed to have fallen over time. But there are also 2 other things ahead of you that instantly catches the light of Amelia's staff. A sarcophagus just flush with gems of different sizes and colors, all in intricate designs that look very similar to the head priest, quote unquote, that you had seen on the other carving, the high priest. It is inlaid upon the wall and set in. Then, a slight glint of something off to the north, Amelia. You see a large, bigger than Grimtuck, probably about 8, maybe 9 feet tall, humanoid form made of crystal clear glass or like a crystal clear substance. Inside seems to rest multiple items. A few of them almost look like internal organs set in this crystalline structure. But you also see a very fine-looking scepter suspended in the very center of this creature.
Amelia would walk into the room.
Yeah, Grimtuck would too. You said the sarcophagus is the one that's looking blinking as fuck?
Yes.
And be like, hey guys, I like my people, when we die, we burn our dead, but I think I might take this thing and see if I can change some hearts and minds. Tradition and stuff is just like peer pressure from dead people. But so maybe I could just be like, hey guys, let's change this tradition and then I can be buried in this thing someday.
As you're standing there, Grimtuck, saying this, and Amelia, as you start moving closer to this humanoid, crystalline humanoid form, Grimtuck, the cover of the sarcophagus shifts and moves and is pushed out of the way. Inside, a corpse hanging barely on bones and the remnants of flesh wrapped in many bits of finery, but also wrapped in just bands of linen, kind of steps forward. For a moment, his head lowered and then rises up, its eyes glinting a green, almost gem-like color. Amelia, in front of you, the 9-foot-tall crystalline creature also moves.
Oh, cool.
As it does, it seems to stand, its hands uncross and step forward. It seems to raise its head high and look down upon the creature that had just stepped out. This.
Having seen it start to move, Amelia definitely would have backed up from the crystal thing.
Okay.
She kind of would have done the same thing. She'd take a step back and then pull out her rod and see what's going to happen.
And I would have stepped forward with my hammer and just be like, But I'm waiting it out.
Amelia would try to motion to have Grimtuck hold on a second.
As the smaller of the two, this mummified creature steps forward. The large crystalline one doesn't move more than to look down upon it. As it does, the creature stands, its head raised, its eyes glowing that green, and it says something very familiar. Blessed champions, you have proven yourself to the great Zartan. Please accept this, the way of true sight. The eye and the way to it now lies open to you. And he walks past you, Grimtuck. Do you do anything?
No, I get out of his fucking way.
He steps one step to the side, then one more. And immediately he steps in front of you, past you, and stands now in front of the large creature. And he looks up at it, and they kind of meet gaze, and you see the eyes on the creature now glowing, first glowing this kind of brilliant gold, now green, similar to what is coming out of the mummy. And as that happens, the cracking and creaking arms of the mummified being reach up and in to the crystalline structure as though it was water. Ripples move across the surface. He reaches in, grasps the scepter and removes it. A small drip falls off and back into the surface of the creature itself. The ripple fades quickly, but is there. And the eyes of the creature once again turn to a brilliant gold. He turns, holding this beautiful scepter in his hands. And though does not bow, does present a similar but finer scepter to you, Amelia, as you are still the closest.
Yeah, Amelia would reach out and take it. And as she does, she would kind of like give a slight bow as she accepts it.
As you do, the creature looks back at the tall, crystalline humanoid form, waving its hand, and that form steps back to the wall, head lowers again, arms crossing as though protecting the few things still suspended inside, and solidifies into more of just a statue. It then makes its way back over, past you, Grimtuck, back to the sarcophagi, steps in, leans its back up against the wall, and then you see the cover just close.
What the fuck was any of that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Huh.
We seem to have curried their favor.
I don't feel like we would still have it if I took this guy's gems in his sarcophagus, so...
Yeah.
So I use the portable hull.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is I just take the whole thing.
Then in the middle of battle, we could take him out of the portable hole and throw him at the enemy like a Pokeball.
Yeah! Matt gets it!
Mummy Lord, I choose you!
Yeah!
Amelia would move to head out of the room.
Yeah, so would Metolius.
Same.
Yeah, I think everybody just kind of has a blank stare on their face, like, alright, and then we all just sort of, like, keeping our eyes on everything, walk out of the room. Not a lot of chatter.
Right, yeah. We're all just silent and this like, why haven't we fought anything yet?
Yeah, that stuff didn't try to kill us.
Do the doors have a way to close them from the outside? Do they have any sort of pull thing, or...
You could pull them closed, but I would say more so as you walk to a certain point farther away, you hear the scrape of stone.
Ah. Well, Metolius would try to close the doors out of courtesy and respect to this venerable priest or whatnot that just gifted us a scepter. But then if the doors like start to shut on their own, he would just let them go and nod in appreciation at the priest. But it's like inside a sarcophagus, so he can't really see me.
All right, so now Amelia has 2 scepters, which, again, pretty fucking cool.
Are you like a scepter collector now?
Juggle them.
Is this what you do? Now you know, staff and a rod and 2 scepters?
She says they're not mine.
And they are now. Those guys gave them to you.
We have to use them for something else, don't we?
Yes. There's one other door, I believe. In the main
too?
hallway.
That's true. There is. You see down the hallway, torches are lit with a bright, decent light where no torches were lit before.
Amelia just kind of like looks back at everybody and shrugs.
I don't even know anymore, dude.
We're champions.
Roll with it.
Yeah, maybe they are lighting our way, for we are champions.
Seemingly these torches were 4 sconces upon the walls in this hallway that you had fought the Medusa or the Gorgons and the Cerberi. So in front of you, a large door. In this hallway, the 4 torches have lit themselves. Seemingly. Or maybe someone had lit them for you.
All we know is they're lit as fuck.
They are lit as fuck. To your west is the double doors you had known of that you could not get to. To the east, and where Amelia is going, is the pillow room, as well as the connection to the rest of the temple.
Wait, where are you going?
We opened another door that we didn't go in.
Oh, that's true. The jar door.
The door here. Nothing seems changed of it because no one has done anything to touch or move. So I would say you don't know.
Amelia steps up to see if it's open.
Do you do the same thing, pushing on it?
Yep.
Slides on in. Opens up to a wide room with shelves along every wall, wrapping around the entire place, except for a small alcove that seemingly has been like crumbled in from time and waste. But every wall is covered in jars, in small jars, probably about 1.5 feet tall, with animal heads as well as humanoid faces upon it. Separated, you see like a swath. You see like a mule, a vulture, a wolf, or some kind of canine, a cat, and then like 2 humans per section of shelf. And every shelf seems to have that set amassed jars. Each of the set of jars seems to have the same scripted runes or like some kind of language you don't speak carved into them, and all 6 of the jars have the same rune on each shelf. That sounds probably more confusing than I need to make it.
Yeah, I'm lost.
There are 6 jars per section of shelf. Each of those 6 has the same carvings on it. Each shelf has different set of carvings on each of the jars. So like 6 jars on the shelf to the very north of you, on the upper shelf has all the same carvings, seeming like a word or maybe a name or something like that. The one below, different carvings, but the same set of jars, like the same figureheads on top.
Are the figureheads the same for each shelf? So
Yep.
Is there a shelf of all the same figurehead and then there's a shelf of a different figurehead? Okay.
Each section of shelf has the same 5 or 6 figureheads, just with different markings on the fronts of the jars.
Got it.
Would Amelia have any idea what all these jars would be for?
Again, I would say if you're proficient. I don't think anyone
I'm
is,
not
though.
proficient.
No. I think with your lack of knowledge of what the carving was, you wouldn't know what these jars are either.
What do you think these are for?
I don't know.
We could open one and find out.
We could.
Yeah,
But
give
then
it a
again,
shot.
everyone's being really nice to us right now, so I'm a little worried to fuck that up.
Yes.
No. I think we're good. Enough stuff has tried to kill us in here. I think that just a couple of things have been nice to us, and we're not used to being treated nicely. So, like, don't let your guard, I think we just fucking do what we always do.
So take your hammer and smash every jar on the wall.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just God talking.
We could open one, but there's a hyenas, the whole shelf full of hyena jars, and we saw a hyena out there carved on the wall. Maybe
It is not a set of hyenas. It is a 6 jars.
Each shelf has the same set of the mix of figureheads.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad.
The exact same set. The only difference is what's written on the jars, which each set has the same writing on each of the 6 jars.
Okay. My bad.
Amelia would reach over and pick up one of the jars.
Okay. It is heavy and stone.
And stone. Okay. She just kind of like tilts the lid to the side and just
Okay.
peeks in.
You notice that there is like a defined lid. Like it seems under the figurehead is like the lid or the cap. You kind of tilt it and a waft of vinegar and sour and almost a bit of rot hits your nose. It is a putrid scent.
She like caps it. She like holds it out. Oh, that smells awful.
Is it dead stuff? I kind of assumed it'd be dead stuff.
I mean, it smells putrid.
Would Amelia know if that would smell like dead stuff?
I would say you've smelt enough dead stuff.
She's kind of like holding back her gag reflex as she like puts the jar back on the shelf and she just shakes her head.
Maybe we shouldn't open any more jars then.
Yeah.
She moves out of the room for fresh air.
That bad, huh?
I don't know if I've ever smelled anything worse in my life.
Now I'm just kind of curious.
All of the 2 months of it that I can remember.
I mean, you can always try yourself there, bud.
I mean, I think I'll just live vicariously through her revulsion.
Yeah, Amelia takes a second when she gets outside to kind of like catch her breath and try to keep from throwing up.
Okay. I would say the urge to do so kind of leaves after a little bit of time.
Yeah, and after collecting herself, she'd be ready to go.
Okay.
Head back to the last door.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Amelia walks up and she puts the first scepter in one of the hands.
Slides in with a click.
Puts the second one in.
Same thing. A slide, a click, and then a shudder as a small drift of sand comes down from the very top.
She kind of looks around. Shall we?
Yeah, I mean, we're here.
She leans into
Push
the door.
the door open. Yeah.
Okay. As you push the door open, you see basically what seems to be a rise about 5 feet up to another landing, then one past that another 5 feet on a dais in the very center of this darkened room. Your light catches what looks to be a pillar, clear and reflective, one almost looking of ice from floor to ceiling. It stands at the very center of this room. You see what looks to be a stone dais in the very center of that pillar, as though it grew around it, and suspended about 1.5 feet above, a yellow gem sits hanging. And I think this is where we're going to take our break. Hey y'all, Chris here. I wanted to take the moment to let you know that if you're not listening to the Help Action podcast, you're missing out. Our very own Justin Dixon and a few other DMs offer the Help Action to give you incredible insight to bring back to your own game. Find it at help-action.com. Also, if you're happening to look for that D&D swag, check out Jess's Etsy store for some beautiful crocheted dice bags. Give your dice hoard a wonderful home to rest. Find it at etsy.com/shop/necrotic-damage. And finally, if you're looking for a good watch and a fun time, check out Chris's, that's mine, Twitch stream, where he plays a variety of games and puts on a dang entertaining show. Check it out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at twitch.tv/DrackMoreDigital. Okay, let's get back to the action. You notice that the ice seems to fan out from this kind of center column, just like spread across the ground and across the ceiling. It just kind of spreads.
Huh. So, ice, huh?
Does not bode well.
It doesn't.
Amelia and Grimtuck, as you both stand in front of this dais, Amelia specifically, you stand there in front of the gem that is suspended, and it almost gives a faint, blink of energy. And as you kind of, peer, you don't go any closer, but you peer and you look, and you notice that the surface shimmers and wobbles as though a pool. It melts almost for a moment. This large oval shape begins to kind of cloud over as it melts away. In a moment later, it freezes into long, fine-pointed teeth-like protrusions. The stone swims up the column, settling itself as though an eye in this giant pillar of ice. Sharp tendrils lash out at both you and Grimtuck.
Can I, shield Amelia with myself, with my mighty girth. Like, just grab her up and be like, fuck! And just pull her behind me.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Your girthiness at the moment is not girthy enough, only in this instance.
Okay.
As you try to dive in front of her, you see two tentacles shoot out towards you. Long, sharp, almost hook-like appendages at the front, sharp and spined. Like a similar mantis-like claw that you've seen many times before now.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, man. I hit 26 for both of you.
That hits.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Grimtuck, you take 14 points of damage. Amelia, 13.
I assume my Armor of Agathis doesn't do anything to it.
It does respond in kind, but it does not seem to affect it in any way.
So I take how much?
You take a total of 17 points of damage altogether, 4 of it being cold. Grimtuck, 18, 4 of it being cold. And you are also feel yourself being grappled as these tendrils wrap around you. This creature now shifts. 4 other tendrils pull themselves forth from the large column of ice. The toothy maw that had grown on the front of this creature almost gives a roar out as the glowing stone in the center of the column seems to affix upon you like an eye finding its prey. I wish I had a better picture, but here's the best one I got, guys, and I am sorry. As this creature pulls itself forth.
It just looks old school.
And we now, as the two of you are grappled.
Oh, we're grappled?
You are grappled.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And effectively restrained.
Oh shit, we're restrained too?
Yeah. As the tentacles stab into you and then just wrap around you wildly, holding you tight. I need you all to roll initiative.
Wow. Double 9s.
9.
9. There you
8.
go, Grimtuck. At the top of the round, Grimtuck, you are grappled and restrained by this creature.
Rage, and I'm gonna break free.
Okay. Then I would like you to roll me a strength check. 24. Grimtuck, right next to you, Amelia, you see that moment his head lulls and his whole body just expands slightly as rage flows through his every being. And I feel like you just kind of like flex against the tendril and just roar as your arms break free, this tendril just shattering and just falling around.
And I believe that's my action, right? To get free from that?
That would be your action.
Okay. And I can't move in front of Amelia because there's tendrils and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing I can do there. Okay, well then I will just move closer into the creature to make way for everybody else.
Okay. Sounds good.
Got.
At the end of your turn, a tendril flies out at the closest person that it sees. Rain, one of those spined, hooked tendrils wheels out with a horrid, just whistling cry straight towards you as it uses a legendary action. So at the end of Grimtuck's turn.
Okay.
24 to hit you.
That hits.
You take 14 points of slashing damage and 4 points of cold, so 18 altogether.
Got it.
You also feel that tendril wrap around you as you are now grappled and restrained.
Dang it.
And now we get into the fun part.
Oh, can I uncanny dodge that? Do you mind if I half the damage?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Almost forgot. Still grappled though. Am I just grappled or am I restrained too?
Grappled and restrained.
And restrained, okay.
As that occurs, you see a single beam fly forth from the gem straight out of the column. And it goes to the far wall, through the doors, to the back. And as it does, it seems to emanate all the way across to the other side of this temple, to the east. And then you notice it sinks down. And as it does, this beam of yellow light spins in an entire circle, 360 degrees. I need all of you to make dexterity saving throws. Anyone grappled and restrained has disadvantage.
Ooh.
Everyone who but Grimtuck will get +4 from my aura.
24 with a nat 20.
21 after my bless. Wait, is it a +4 or a +1d4?
It's a
That's
+4.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, it's just the same thing.
So Amelia gets an 8.
Metolius rolled a natural 1, but he's lucky. So I'm going to re-roll it for a 22.
22. Amelia, you get
8.
8. And then Rain, you add your +4 to this, so 20.
20.
Grimtuck got a 24. Elduin, what'd you get again?
21.
21. Metolius, a 22. Rain, a 20. Amelia, an 8. Rain, you're able to kind of duck under it as you do. Amelia, though, as everyone else kind of finds their way to jump over or duck under, as this wave, this singular beam creates a wave all around the room. Amelia, you're struck by it as you take 12 points of cold damage. It is now Elduin's turn. The creature's eye once again sinks back to the center of it and kind of spins as though it's looking and peering at all of you. A horrid rasping, just sickening sound can be heard coming out of it.
I'm just going to say, spread out! And I'm going to move around a pillar to the north such that I can, like, do the thing where, like, my arm is pressed up against the pillar and I'm firing around the edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to shoot it with some arrows.
Okay.
I know, it's surprising. Sharpshooter.
What?
22 to hit.
22 hits.
That is 26 magical piercing damage.
Okay. I was going to say your arrow sticks in, cracks emanate out of the impact.
I knock another arrow.
Yes.
And I fire.
Figured you might.
For 27 to hit.
Which hits.
Yep. That's the same roll, so that's another 26. And then I will fire again.
Okay.
Oh, that's only a 13 to hit.
A 13 does not hit.
Your
Your final arrow flies off and sticks into the wall behind it.
All done. I'm hiding behind this pillar, so I want to make myself a small target.
Okay. Amelia.
Amelia grips onto her Rod of the Pact Keeper, and she's going to try and angle it as best she can at the tentacle, or the tendril that is gripping onto her, and she's going to try and cast Firebolt at it.
Okay.
Is this at disadvantage because of being restrained?
You're a warcaster, correct?
I am not.
You're not. You want to
Restrained does give you disadvantage on attack rolls.
I mean, I would say that this does fit within that.
Okay. Disadvantage, that is a 15. For some reason, it doesn't add my Rod of the Pact Keeper to Firebolt.
Okay. A 15 sadly does not connect.
Didn't think so. And then with that, she's going to kind of like grunt and try and wriggle around a bit, and she's going to like jerk her head towards like the main pillar as she sends one of her motes from Crown of Stars at it.
Okay.
20 at disadvantage.
20 to hit?
Yeah,
Are you sending at the tendril or are you sending at the main body?
that main body.
Main body? That hits.
That is 30, and well, because I didn't hit with Firebolt, that's going to be 35 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then she continues to toss and wriggle and try and worm her way out of this, even though she doesn't stand a chance.
Sounds good. Got ourselves some Metolius. What you do, bud?
Metolius will run up to the second level of the dais.
To note, there is about 5 feet between each level.
Okay.
So it is up 10 feet above the ground level, which is already raised from where you were walking.
He's going to stand on the top level in the southeast corner, and he is going to cast Bless at third level. We are all blessed. So now everyone adds a d4 to their attack rolls and saving throws.
This is the first time I think I've been blessed this whole game.
Hashtag blessed.
I don't have any lower level spell slots left. So.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah. And then that's it, actually. Everyone's blessed, and I don't have any bonus actions, so that's the end of Metolius' turn.
Okay. The end of your turn, Metolius. A tendril whips out of the ice that has strewn across the ground in front of you, Elduin, and tries to hit you. 15 to hit you, Elduin.
That misses. I just duck behind the pillar as it whips by.
And it just stabs into the wall behind you and pulls back, and bits of rock fall, leaving a huge hole. We move on to Rain's turn.
Okay, I try to get out, because I don't feel like I can do a whole lot until I do.
Okay. That's a strength
What
check.
do you need me to roll? Strength check? Alright, do I get to add my d4 for Bless?
It's attack rolls and saving throws.
And saving throws,
so-
okay. Alright, strength check. Fingers crossed. Natural 20 for 21.
Shit.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Damn.
Yes.
Nice.
Rain, you just stop there and just move and just break free. You just shatter the tendril around you. It scatters to the ground and kind of melts and reforms into patches of ice all around.
I'm assuming that was my action?
It is your action.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So then I am going to run to the pillar to the south, and I'm going to use my bonus action to hide behind it.
Okay.
Stealth check. 25.
You believe you're hidden. At the end of Rain's turn, Metolius, next to you, a piece of the ice that is just kind of like spread forth on the ground, on the dais, solidifies and comes into one of those large tendrils that whips around and tries to stab at you.
Okay.
22 to hit you.
Yeah, that hits.
You take 9 points of slashing damage and 4 points of cold, so a total of 13 points of damage altogether. You are also grappled and restrained.
Okie dokie. But I maintain concentration.
Okay. On the ground, you see the splatter of ice kind of fill in and reform, and then another tendril just kind of pops out where it was and returns. Only one, seemingly, of the two that were broken previously. And right now, two are holding on to your fair friends. Though, at this moment, you see that hole, that toothy maw open up, and as it does, the behind the teeth kind of melts into a cavern, like this hole that kind of grows just a little too large, and as it does, you see some of what seems to be the water of the ice kind of coalesce and fill into a mist. This black mist begins to grow and move, and finally, as it does, it releases this just blast of icy black smoke across in a 30-foot cone from it, hitting, I believe, everyone but Elduin.
Spread out. I said spread out.
It's the Paladin's curse, man. I tried to stay close to everyone for my aura, and
No.
Look, some of us didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But we got dropped here.
Yep. So you all must make me a Constitution saving throw. As you breathe this in, you feel it burn your lungs from the frozen temperatures, and you begin to cough.
Could have done better on that one, Grim Tuck.
12
one.
for Rain.
everybody gets a D4, and
That's
everyone,
true.
and everyone in my aura gets +4.
Which is everyone.
So that's
Nice. 20 for
Alright,
Amelia.
12,
Oh yeah.
18.
So I rolled
That's
a nat
fair.
1, and thanks to Metolius, I got an 18.
Yep, same here, 18.
Metolius got a 19.
You all cough, and as though after a late night amongst a bonfire, you kind of all spit up the cloud and the black smoke that you had breathed in. But as it is removed, you all take 7 points of cold damage from breathing any of it in. Now, as it becomes its turn, more of its turn, really.
Son of a bitch. That was its turn.
It starts to shift back ever so slightly, kind of moving away. The column follows with it. The gem also, though it does pull itself off of the dais that had initially held the column itself. As it does that, it takes the two tendrils that hold on. Metolius, you are pulled by the strength of this creature straight towards it. That large toothy maw, no longer this pit of vapor, instead now just a cone of sharp, needle-like teeth. As it pulls you forward into its space, it also thrusts two tentacles out. One towards Elduin. 22 to hit you, Elduin.
So, do I get cover from the pillar?
Oh no, it's coming from here. It's coming from right next to you.
Oh.
It's coming up from the ice upon the ground.
Gotcha. I am going to throw up my shield.
Okay.
Ooh, a seldom used Elduin device.
I am going to very quickly make an incantation with my hand, and shimmering force is going to deflect it past me.
The tentacle just slams against it and off to the side as it is blocked by this magical force. The second and last strikes out at Griptuck with a 9 to hit you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out the way of that one.
It just flies out and just crashes behind you. And finally, the very last thing, I promise, Metolius, this creature tries to pull you in to bite down upon you.
Go for it.
17.
That is not going to do it.
So as I see, or unless you'd like to explain it.
This is like great gaping maw of sharp teeth, and I think
go ahead.
Metolius just pulls his shield to the front, and like all the teeth are clamped down on the edge of the shield, and he's like holding it out with like maybe he hasn't drawn his weapon yet, so he's actually like holding it out with both arms as these like teeth are slowly like crunching into the shield, and it would probably shatter if it wasn't a magical device.
Thank God. Thank the gods for magic.
Thank the gods for enchantment, baby.
Heck yeah, baby. Cool. That is its turn. And we get to the top of the round, Grimtuck.
Grimtuck is going to just turn around with his mighty hammer, and he is going to attempt to smash the tentacles that are holding Amelia.
Okay. Smash it.
Alright, we're doing reckless on this one. Motherfuckers! So, 31 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
20. Bludgeoning damage.
You just... you hit the tendril, like, against the ground, and it just explodes.
Cool. And then I will wheel around and do the same thing to the one that is holding Metolius.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch. It's 24, 35, 36, 37, 30. It's a bunch of damage to that tendril. I'm not going to roll the rest of the dice. There's actually one more that's just a natural occurring one.
Same as the first. You smash into it, and it just explodes. Releasing Metolius. Metolius, you no longer feel like you're being drawn into this gaping maw.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray!
And there are 3 tendrils still, like, moving about. Just so you know.
Yeah. I don't think I have a bonus action that I want to fuck with and use. So yeah, that's what I got.
Score a critical hit, my friend.
Oh, that's right. I can hit it again. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna smash this dude. I'm gonna turn my anger onto the creature.
I'll
smash this dude. I'll smash that dude. I'll smash anything that moves.
Dude smasher. 13 damage. Well, I guess 23 to hit.
Okay. 23 to hit?
Yep.
23 hits.
And then, yep, that's just 13.
You're hitting the main column, correct?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. That's all I got.
A large crack just breaks across the column, and the eye kind of wheels about, and though it is a gem, the facets shine as though looking straight at you.
Ooh. I got the gem's attention. All right, that's all I got.
I think that's a perfect idea. So, at the end of your turn, Grimtuck,
Bring it.
it will strike out once again at you with a tentacle that just shoots straight for you.
Bring it.
Or a tendril, should I say.
I fucked you up with that.
20.
20 actually hits
Okay.
nowadays.
You take 9 points of slashing damage as the tendril just cuts into you and then wraps around. You feel the cold of the creature's form as you take 4 points more of cold damage. So 6 and 4, so 10.
Cool.
And you are grappled and restrained.
All right.
At the end of your turn, it does that. At the initiative count of 20, the gem, instead of one beam flowing out of 2 facets, one on either side, opposing sides of this gem shoot out that yellow beam that connect to the walls, and once again, it spins. A full 360. Everyone but Rain would be within getting hit of this spin. So I need everyone but Rain to make a dexterity saving throw. Grimtuck, you have disadvantage.
Plus a d4.
How about a 24 from Elduin?
Yeah, I got a shitload. I got a 25 with disadvantage on that. Amelia rolled a 22.
Metolius rolled a natural 1 for a 14.
Everyone else is above a 20 but Metolius. Rain didn't have to roll. Metolius, you take the full brunt of this and take 12 points of cold damage. Everyone else takes 6. Or no, it takes no damage as you dodge and move out of the way. Sorry, I apologize. You dip underneath it. Grimtuck, you're able to push the
just arc backwards or something like a boxer.
Just
Yeah. Oh shit.
As this spins, as both lines spin around to create a full disc. Did you make it?
Yeah, I made it.
At this moment, before we continue this round, I think we should call it here. Heyo, Chris here again. Just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you want to keep up to date with us, check out our socials on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at /theswordcast. If you like what you heard and want to help us keep the lights on, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/theswordcast, where for $5 a month you can hear Matt or Metolius run a few of us through the deadly halls of the Tomb of Annihilation. Thank you all again, and don't worry, you'll be hearing from us soon. Bye-bye.